So we've talked about some of the other we've talked about a lot of psychedelic drugs that are part of, like, for example, your morning and early afternoon routine. Which ones?
Mhm.
I mean, you mentioned ketamine, but which other drugs have you tried, or which ones haven't you tried?
First of all, I just like to get a little clear over here that these are
Mm,
not drugs. These are sacred medicines sold by
mm,
shady individuals in robes for profit. Not like the big pharma kind of robes of where
no.
doctors are selling these medicines in pills like they've been doing for the entire past century. These guys that are selling these medicines, they actually have professional linen Tulum robes, and instead of medical degree, they have a slow speaking, eye gazing, and a voice inside their heads that tells them that they are in fact here to be the chosen ones to help and serve humanity, and serve them by asking for a sliding scale donation of $500 to $5,000 to hold space for their mushroom journey, as they
Mm,
bang on pots and pans in candlelight, calling it a sound healing. I mean, speaking of medicines that I've tried, I mean, the last time I did 5-MeO, I scaled so hard that they had to change the name to 7-MeO, because I won't even look at something if it's not scaling to 7 digits. So, yeah, I did the 7-MeO. Mushrooms, kind of, yeah, I've done that. I already told you about the ayahuasca. So, yeah, I've kind of tried all the psychedelic drugs because I find the best way to heal the collective of humanity is to build my personal brand by talking about my drug induced visions and selling more products and courses and retreats and events to further my own spiritual brand, instead of actually doing anything to work on solving the problems of the world, like, problems like systemic racism or climate change or women being sold into sexual slavery and orphans not having enough food to eat. I mean, who has time to focus on those low vibrational realities when there's such big epidemics that we're faced with, like the polarities between men and women, like who has,
ugh,
and like semen retention. Like, I mean, honestly, if these poor people just did some psychedelics and came to one of my retreats, they wouldn't be poor anymore. And if the women did it too, maybe they would start to be paid the same as us. So yeah.
mm.
So anyways, after my first experience of oneness and seeing our inherent interconnectedness of all human beings, I woke up from the illusion and I immediately canceled the health insurance of all my employees. So yeah.
That is a very that's a real way to put people into the moment.
I mean, it is the moment, because who needs all these matrix things like childcare and dental insurance when I could just prescribe you some microdose mushrooms and like give you a personalized relaxation sound healing meditation that I made, in which I'm speaking to the ocean to help the ocean relax. I mean, why would you want childcare when you could just have microdose of mushrooms?
It's literally the same thing, literally
It's
identical. I
yeah.
mean,
So
if you can't see the difference between childcare and microdosing mushrooms, it's your own
yeah.
limited perception, clearly.
And that's what I'm trying to help them expand into, just expand into this newer reality that, hey, you don't need things like, I don't know, like health insurance or dental coverage. It's like, just live in the moment, like live in the moment, and you're going to be just fine. Just, if they could just be in a peak state all the time, like how I am, it's just like these things won't even matter to them. But that's why I guess they're the servants and I'm the master and the ruler. So I mean, everyone's got to fulfill their legacy, right?
Have you ever considered starting a podcast to share, or maybe you mentioned earlier, to share some of these ideas more broadly? Because I think more people would really be impacted by them in various dangerous ways.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually considered that a lot. I mean, it's like, I think it's just being this prophetic messenger of our times. Like, I'm one of the truly most visionary leaders, and I mean, what else could help humanity than seeing two white guys talk about their problems and their views on life? It's like, could there really
Yeah.
be anything more incredibly relevant to all of humanity and society? I think not. So yeah, I mean, I can't really talk about it too much because it's under I've signed a few NDAs with some big companies, but yeah, there's some things coming out in the pipeline, and yeah, the world is really really going to shift. I mean, this is what is called the Aquarian age. The coming of the Aquarian age is when actually my podcast drops. So yeah, I'm excited for how the world will benefit by hearing me talk about myself and the challenges that I faced trying to find my wife, and making her bisexual.
That sounds like something that a lot of people will listen to for sure. I can just
Uh-huh.
imagine you in front of a wall of flowers, wearing flowers, and just really proclaiming your excellence to everybody,
Yeah.
and everyone just bowing down.
And I think the people that would be most interested is all those, as being the superior, this incredible masculine figure. I think the people that I'm most relevant to are all men between the ages of 20 to 50 who basically grew up without a good masculine father figure and have no actual brotherhood relations. And so they have this deep void in their life that they're trying to fill through an actual connection with a man that they admire and they look up to. And so, boom, I come in, use all my network marketing to be able to fill this void and to give them this sense of belonging that society is not giving them, because these men are just focused on their careers. And yeah, it's like this void can only be filled by something as incredible as my personal brand.
An incredible opportunity to sell courses as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's just yeah.
So so do you find that, let's wait for this. Where do you live? Where does your friend live? By a police station?
It's just they're lining up because they thought I was doing, yeah, they knew that there's going to be female audiences listening. So they're
Oh,
just here for the safety in case all the females want to just break into my house, which happens all the time.
oh yeah, that's very thoughtful. They're cordoning off the area. It's just
Yeah,
too
it
much
was.
energy.
Billie Jean isn't the only one that had to deal with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, oh, for sure, for sure. Too much masculine energy is really drawing. They can't even understand. Like the women are just being drawn in throughout the city, just by instinct almost.
Yeah, it's like their feminine brain is just gets surpassed when my masculine presence just overpowers it, and then their brains just they're just naturally come into this surrendered state, which is obviously for their greatest benefit. So yeah,
I have a feeling that all the women listening right now are ovulating.
yeah, vulvas galore.
So, so you mentioned some of the psychedelics that you've enjoyed and participated in. It seems like a significant part of your life. Do you find that it interferes with your daily work? Because it seems like a lot to really be into. But I mean, how do you keep it all balanced?
That's a good question. See, it used to mess with my work until I made my work all about psychedelic use. So you see, before I became this self-appointed public psychedelic advocate who has zero actual medical training, my employees were like, Peter, it's 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. Are you sure you should be doing ketamine in the office? So I told them what any chemical mystic does, that this office is just an illusion, man. It's all separation. And since we call it medicine, now instead of drugs, I'll just do a few bumps and then I'll just do a meditation. And then it's actually not a rampant drug addiction anymore. I mean, yeah, I
Mm.
K-holed in the meeting, but just being around my presence was able to send all my employees into deep state of samadhi. And yeah, I mean, as a progressive new earth paradigm shifting business, instead of giving my employees matrix things like a 401k or health insurance or daycare support, we just give them mushroom chocolates and a guided meditation of me in which I make sounds of the waves so that the ocean can feel more relaxed by listening to the sound of my voice.
I can feel myself entering a meditative state even at the thought of it. Wow, that must be
Mm.
what an incredible set of benefits that you extend to your employees. They must be so enlightened to receive all that.
They really are, and I mean, it's a very special relationship that I have with them. I don't really know their names, but it's really special. I mean, just last week I was telling Jeremy, I was like, Jeremy, why are you stop crying about your children? I know you invested your life in our tech startup, but I'm afraid after giving myself another triple bonus, we just can't afford to keep your whole department anymore. And I told him, it's like, no, it's not that you're being fired. It's just that your dharmic bonds with this organization have reached fulfillment. And no, it's not. No, there's no severance package. Just some microdose penis envies. And yeah, we are moving your whole department to Malaysia, but it's totally not a for-profit move. It's just to balance the karmic energies, and it's for diversity and inclusion. Because I mean, those other brown people have the right to be our servants too, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if all things are one, we should all function in an all things are one economy, and we should all just merge. We're just merging companies. We're merging, and we're just breaking free of old bonds and old employees. Like it's all one, man.
It is all one, and I think that's it's really important to recognize that, because all these people can now be joined with this love of being servants and serving my empire of neocolonialism and spiritual capitalism, and that's really what unites humanity, is like the love for serving a leader that is greater than themselves, who only acts in his own interest.